And you're good to go.
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark, that this meeting be opened at 6 p.m.
7 p.m.
Oh, sorry, 7 p.m. All in favor? Carry. The adoption of the agenda, moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, that the agenda presented to council and dated the 13th day of February 2024 be adopted as prepared. All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Adoption of previous minutes, moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that the minutes of the regular council meeting of January the 30th, 2024 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. No presentations or delegations. Staff reports. We have a report from our deputy clerk regarding renewing the animal control contract with the North Bay and District Humane Society. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, that the contract with the North Bay and District Humane Society be renewed for a one-year term and that staff provide a full cost analysis report on providing the services in-house versus as contracting out to the North Bay and District Humane Society. Any comments or questions, Donna?
So sorry. We want to do an analysis before we sign up with North Bay Humane Society?
No, we're going to renew the one-year term with the North Bay and District Humane Society, and that will give us the opportunity to see if we should continue as previously when our bylaw enforcement officer, at that time it was animal control officer.
Right.
I tried to compare both services, but they are totally different from one to the other. So I need more time to actually do an analysis and to see what kind of level of service they want to provide. So that will help us determine if we go with the Humane Society for longer or the newly hired bylaw enforcement officer will do that service.
Okay, and I think what might help too is if we actually have some, even if it's anecdotal, the community feeding into this, because I've heard a few people just, again, anecdotally saying, you know, what is the bylaw, right? There's a dog that's lost, or what do I do with the dog? And that North Bay has very limited weekend and after hours, and so there's no recourse. And by the time they're available, it's too late. So I don't know if that's helpful or not. But
it is helpful, but again, as I would say, it depends what level of service council wants these officers to provide. Like in the past, the animal control officer that we had responded to all calls.
Right.
As North Bay Humane Society have limited hours and limited
your
response.
report kind of indicates that there's not a huge cost difference from
No.
kind of a full service to the limited service that we're getting. And so I think, you know, for us to make a comfortable decision, if we could hear from people as to, and, you know, this report's on the website, right? With the,
yes.
Yeah. So, you know, it's about $1,000 difference because we would have to pay 12,000 or the 13,000 roughly, you know, given the inflation. But I think it would be good if we could hear from the public so we could make an informed decision.
And we also need time to see, work with the Public Works Manager of reopening the dog pound.
Okay.
See what the cost of that would be to keep it open. So that was another issue that I didn't have enough time to go through the report and see what would need to be done. So at least now we'll have 1 year to work with council and the public to see what we want to do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Just from a timing perspective, like, is this something that we're going to be working on? Because I'd hate to get to a year from now and we're stuck addressing it. Because if we are going to move forward with bylaw officer or dog enforcement, animal enforcement, we'd probably have to look at an onboarding process prior to the expiration of the next contract. So we just need to back that up to make sure that A, we're receiving feedback from council, B, it can go to a committee for conversation about level of service that council's looking for, and then be able to move forward or have a direction set. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that timing looks
Work
like from a staff
backwards,
perspective,
yeah.
but if we could make sure
Yep.
that we're not pinching time at the end, that'd be great. Alex wants.
Yeah, just to add to that, most of the work that needs done to the outbuilding that we have behind the cold storage can be done by staff. There's nothing too crazy that needs done. It's mostly just cosmetic stuff. Bring it back up.
Okay.
That's in the public works yard?
Yeah, it's just behind the shop.
We have a
Mhm.
lot of animals in this community, so it's good. Thank you.
Yes, I have concerns about the animals running at large. Because it seems to me there are quite a few. We've had complaints. I know Steve has had complaints. I've had complaints. And I've also read, go back to Facebook, but yeah, I've also read where people are not watching the animals. If you hit them on the road and you don't stop, and if there are those concerns, those animals shouldn't be on the road. You know, they don't know where they are when they're running on the road. It's up to the people to keep their animals tied so that they're not out there and in danger of being hit. And I know down on Talon Lake Road, there are animals running at large as well. And so I feel that the contract with the Humane Society, I'd like to know how many animals or how successful they are in enforcing the dogs running at large, and not only for the people, because I know the complaint that I received was that they were afraid of the dogs and they can't walk. They have to go into North Bay to walk. And that's not fair. People should be allowed to walk in our community as well. So I guess I can go along with Jason and Donna to see what is a success of the Humane Society taking over our animal control. I know that right now it's probably hard to make that decision without having all the facts. So then, and that's what you're saying,
Mhm.
for next year, then we should have all that information.
Yes,
for us. Yeah.
we do have stats that were provided to us by the Humane Society, so I will include those stats.
Yep.
And
And
we'll
we
start
looked
working
at
on that
what you
report.
sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. All right. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor McGuinness, that the contract with the North Bay and District Humane Society be renewed for a one-year term, and that staff provide a full cost analysis report on providing the services in-house versus contracting out to the North Bay and District Humane Society. All in favor? Carried. And we have the adoption of committee meetings, and there's no motions for these, but Corporate Service Committee, no minutes for this session. Emergency Services Committee, no minutes for this session. Planning Advisory Committee, no minutes for this session. Is there anything, CEO Kunkel, that you wish to address at this time with respect to that?
The planning advisory. So we do hope to have a committee meeting in March. We are right now going through, our planning administrator is going through a number of the issues from the official plan, getting them updated with our consultant, and then there'll be a committee meeting to go over those recommendations in the official plan. As well as we think there'll be more information known on a few applications that we have right now, but there's nothing that's going to public meeting at this time.
Okay. And then we have Recreation minutes of February 5th, and Recreation is always so busy.
Is I wonder if we can just make a note to bring a motion for council for recreation. I believe we just missed it. It was supposed to be for looking at bans for Canada Day. So with the last recreation meeting, I believe we sent that forward. Or we're supposed to send it forward, and I don't see it in the package.
There was a motion in the minutes.
Sure. Let's,
It can table obviously till the next meeting.
go in the recreation
No
minutes, right?
motion.
So that was the directive at the recreation meeting.
Yeah.
So it just got missed somehow, so we'll just make a note of it so that we can add it for the next meeting.
For the next council meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
For the next council
Yeah.
meeting, you don't need it tonight?
No.
No, okay. Police Services Board, no minutes for this session. Next, we have an item for council discussion, is the Phenom Conference, May 6th to the 8th, 2024 registration. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor McInnes. Whereas the 2024 Phenom Conference is being held at the Holiday Inn in Sudbury, May 6th to May 8th, 2024. Be it hereby resolved that Mary Puckett be approved to attend the 2024 Phenom Conference and that all expenses be paid in accordance with the township policy. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have resolutions considered for adoption. Bylaw 2024-08 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2023-48 being a bylaw to govern the proceedings of council. Moved by Councillor Clark, second by Councillor Featherstone, that a bylaw 2024-08 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2023-48 to govern the proceedings of council regarding committees hereby be considered read 3 times and passed this 13th day of February 2024. All in favor? Carried. Now we have a motion moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor McInnes, that we need someone to be appointed to sit on the hiring committee for the CBO bylaw enforcement position. Councillor Corbett?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I put your name in here?
Sure.
Okay,
If,
everybody's good with that?
So do we want, because there's really two, right? Because we have the fire chief position as well. So do we want them separated or
This should be separate. It's
There's two
separate
motions.
processes.
there's, okay.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
two motions,
Okay.
one for the CBO and then one for the fire chief.
Well, you said on the
Would-
fire.
Would it make sense for Dan maybe to be on the hiring committee for that?
For
For
the CBO?
Give a bit of a background knowledge in that,
Yeah.
putting you on the spot. Just
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't hurt my feelings.
play, yeah, just play the strengths, I think.
I just thought because the planning and building
Oh,
are
yeah,
connected,
yeah,
no?
yeah,
Not
Yeah.
any
That
much?
makes sense too, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to leave it up to
Oh,
someone. tell me.
Council
Go,
McGinnis, it's all
Jason.
yours.
Go,
You do
Jason.
it.
Oh, Jason. But I think Steve sits on the fire board, so I mean, I would think that would be in his.
We can have
wheelhouse.
multiple, no?
Yeah, I think Steve and I would both like to sit on the fire, if that's
Well, then
possible.
why doesn't
Jason,
Council
that-
McGinnis and
yeah.
I do?
We'll do
Yeah,
CBO.
There you go. Put us both.
Yes.
Just yet another meeting we get to go to.
Okay, moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor McInnes. That Councillor Corbett and Councillor McInnes. I run out of room here. Be appointed to sit on the hiring committee for the CBO bylaw enforcement position. All in favor? Carried. So then I guess the next one is that moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor Clark, that Councillor Featherstone and Councillor Clark be appointed to sit on the hiring committee for the fire chief position. All in favor? Carried.
Applications closed on
Friday.
Friday.
There. Okay.
Okay,
got
before,
that.
will Councillor McInnes and I actually be engaged in a process? Did we get any applicants for CDO?
You'll be engaged in the process.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You'll all report back.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's how it works. We do.
yeah.
That's how that works, yep.
Okay. Next, we have,
She got nervous that we were,
Yeah.
that she let us all
you're gonna
loose too
leave
much.
me out.
Yeah, no, you let us loose too far, right? You're like, uh-oh, rein that back in.
Okay, next we have, these are the resolutions to be considered for adoption with the correspondence we received last week, right?
That's right, yes.
So, Town of Mono declares road safety emergency, moved by Councillor McInnes, second by Councillor Featherstone, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield supports the Town of Mono calling on the province to take action to address traffic safety tough measures, including public education, increased highway traffic fines, and expanded use of automated speed enforcement. All in. Did I
Well,
skip
that's
one?
okay. We'll
That's okay,
do
we'll do
that
this
one.
one.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll do this one and then
okay.
we'll go back.
Call the vote.
Well, I'll carry,
Yes.
this one's okay?
Yeah.
I'll go back to this one.
Yeah.
A move by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor Corbett. Whereas Canada has adopted 988, a national three-digit suicide and crisis hotline, and whereas the Township of Bonfield recognizes that it's significant and important initiative to ensure critical barriers are removed to those in a crisis and seeking help. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Township of Bonfield continues to endorse the 988 Crisis Line Initiative and will display the 988 information poster in all municipal city buildings. All in favor? Carried.
Is it also possible to put that on our website?
We did have it in the newsletter that went out in
Mhm.
December as well.
Next, we have Prince Edward County regarding expanding the life cycle of the fire apparatus. Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the Council of the Township of Bonfield supports the Prince Edward County's motion requesting the province to expand the lifespan of fire apparatus specifically pertaining to the replacement of fire trucks due to insurance requirements. So that means that if your truck is too old, then they take it off the road, right? I can support this for sure, as long as the trucks are in
Well, as long
good
as they're
working
safety,
order.
then they're, they're pump tested every year.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point you do have to get rid of them, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're
But there's
also,
less wear and tear.
yeah, they
in
don't
the
move
rural
really. I
communities,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, as long, like I said, they're fully pump tested and stuff like that, so they're functional.
Good, you're good with that? Everybody's good? Carried. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield supports the City of Mississauga calling on the province to implement significant reforms at the Landlord and Tenant Board to alleviate the housing and homelessness crisis. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGinnis, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield supports the recommendations outlined in the letter from Clearview Township pertaining to the operation of a cemetery. I guess that's asking the province to take them over once the cemetery has been closed by the municipalities, right? All in favor? Next, we have the Township of Georgian Bluffs asking the province to undertake a comprehensive social and economic prosperity review. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor Clark, that the Council for the Township of Bonfield supports the Township of Georgian Bluffs calling on the province to undertake, along with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, a comprehensive social and economic prosperity review to promote the stability and sustainability of municipal finances across Ontario. All in favor? Carried. Then we have correspondence. And that's from, okay, I'll go moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor Corbett. The council receives the correspondence circulated with the agenda of January 30th, 2024.
Sorry.
Any questions? There's the municipality of Calvin, the correspondence relating to the provincial and national firefighting strategy. Are we looking for motions for these
It needs
next
to
week?
come-
Some of them can be brought back at the next council. There's a typo in that motion. It should read February 13th and not January 30th.
Okay,
So I have a comment just about the fire equipment. I guess they're looking for planes, and there it says that there are planes that are 54 years old. So I'm wondering why the federal government wouldn't have asset management plans if we are, legislated to have it. Why do we have to call on them? And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter at which level, it's one taxpayer. So it's the taxpayer that's going to be paying for the new planes. I mean, why aren't they're calling on them to get newer equipment because of the impending forest fires? But again, why aren't they looking after their equipment like we are legislated to do, right?
Yeah, we have to do the same. So-
Exactly. So
Right.
why aren't they doing it? Like, why do we have to actually pass something for them for us to say, can you please buy newer equipment? Also knowing that, I mean, look at the forest fires that we had just last year alone in Canada.
I assume that's a rhetorical question.
It is.
Okay.
It is a rhetorical question, unless you have an answer.
I don't, but
Okay. I just think it's interesting, that's all, that we are legislated to do this. So we have a program now where we've got good, expensive equipment that we're going to pay ourselves for, so that when our equipment comes to the end of its life, we have a plan to replace the equipment. Why doesn't the federal government and the provincial government have the same plan?
maybe a motion such as this makes them more aware that, or know that the people are more aware that maybe that's something that they should be doing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Just giving us the opportunity to say what we think about it.
Mhm.
Bring that back for next council meeting for support.
doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Doesn't help.
No.
And then we support everything.
Yeah.
Next is the City of Brantford reliable and accessible public rail transits. And we have a letter, CN Rail letter. Did you want to support that?
Well, given that the railways are kind of pushing back now. So at the Roma conference, we all sat in a drainage seminar where we found out that CN is not paying their share of work that's being done in municipalities. And it's coming sort of as a surprise. So the municipalities are billing them, and months will go by and there's no remittance.
And
So
they're also holding projects up by
yes,
not giving clearances to cross their lines.
And litigation is now happening. So the municipalities are banding together, where there's going to be, and they want to know how many people are affected by this. And as we got a big rail line running through Bonfield, we are affected by this. So this is a little bit different, but again, it still involves the big rails shirking their responsibility. So I think that we should support it.
Okay, we'll support it, Andre.
Okay,
And next is the library board minutes. Do you have anything to say
I
about the
wasn't
library?
there. I was at, I think, an emergency services meeting, but once again, I think they passed their budget at that meeting, so they're keeners, those ladies.
Next, we have a municipal resolution for consideration, social and economic prosperity review. And we'll refer that for support as well.
I thought we already did that one.
this is from Phenom. I think the motion is a little bit different,
Is it?
but I can include the one that we passed tonight and send that off to Phenom so that we don't have to redo that one.
Okay.
Okay, so we supported, but we've already supported it.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And next we have the letter from DSAB Chair Mark King regarding the Reaching Home funding. Any comments on that?
So I have a question, and maybe you know this, Councillor Corday. The reaching home, I mean, that sounds pretty specific. Is that kind of like here's your ticket to where you came from if you have friends or family and
No.
another, that's not this?
Yeah.
Because reaching home is a little ambiguous.
Um,
It does say what they use it for, warming centers and all of these other
Yeah.
yeah,
programs.
replace the homelessness partnering strategy. Yeah, so
And is there a reason why they're cutting this funding? Because the problem is getting worse.
is that a
so they-
rhetorical question as
Yeah.
well? Because I'm like, I don't know that I can answer that one either.
So, yeah, so I think we're going to support DSAB in more
Yeah, it's
funding.
not, certainly not getting better.
No,
No,
Okay, well, we'll support that as well.
Okay, I'll bring those back at our next meeting.
Closed session? No closed session tonight?
Really?
we're off the hook.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting lost in my motions here. And then we have
Number 12.
confirmatory bylaw, moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, that the council for the township of Bonfield hereby adopts bylaw 2024-07 to confirm the proceedings of council from January 30th, 2024 to February 13, 2024, as presented and considered read 3 times and passed this 13th day of February 2024. All in favor? Carried. And next we have the adjournment. What time is it?
It's 7:28.
You cut that close.
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGuinness, that this meeting be adjourned at 7:28 PM. All in favor? All in favor. Carried. That's it.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot.
It's official.
I forgot.